Welcome back to Awful Movie Reviews. After the success of Halloween and Friday the 13th, the slasher craze of the 1980s had arrived. Film after film was being pumped out featuring a masked killer stalking teenagers and killing them one by one. Everyone was trying to cash in on this cinematic trend, and Madman is one of them. Now I know that I may hurt some people by reviewing this film, because it actually does have a certain cult classic status to it, but I thought that it was an absolute piece of shit. It's movies like these that led the slasher trend to its downfall into the gutter. It starts out with a couple of camp counselors telling scary stories in the dark to the children of the camp. What kind of adult does that to little kids?
I'm concerned with the effect it has on the younger ones. They're in tears by the time it's over. I don't think it's good for them.
Well, that's a good point. I never thought of that.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be working with kids, you dumbass. Anyways, one of them tells the camp tale of Madman Mars, who killed his whole family one night after going insane before getting caught by the townsfolk and being hung.
They left him there, hanging for dead. Next morning, when they went to cut him down, he was gone.
Ooh. From there, it follows the slasher formula as bodies start piling up. And it also happens to exhaust every single horror cliche ever. Cars not starting. Fake jump scares. Useless sex scenes. And also almost getting caught. But what I hated the most about this, apart from the terribly slow and boring pacing, were the characters. Not only is the acting laughable, but they make the worst decisions ever, and extreme individualism reigns in this camp. First of all, at the beginning, one of the counselors, who's a real cranky pants by the way, loses one of the kids. And none of the counselors barely worry about losing one of them in the dark and before cell phones were invented. And this is out of pure negligence that it happened. So the counselor was more worried about winning his girl back. Gee, terrific. And then he finally goes out looking for the kid. Oh, well, someone else goes out looking for them. Ah, and then another one goes out into the woods. And then two others. At this point, one girl is left, and I couldn't help but think that all of this bloodshed could have been avoided if the characters had just stuck together and helped one another, instead of not caring at all for each other. That's when they're not all killing each other.
Wake everybody up!
Because blowing your colleague's head off with a shotgun maybe wasn't loud enough to wake them up? What kind of sleeping pills are these kids on? And by the way, she doesn't shed a single tear after finishing her friend off. Why doesn't she just kill him right here? She's got the shotgun aboard. Why this flimsy little baseball bat? And by the way, who just barges in like that while a couple is having sex? Without them even really minding. It's nonsense like this which makes me want to just pull my hair right off. Not only is this movie so uninspired, but you can't even take it seriously without really cringing at all the stupidness that it gives off. We don't get any explanation as to what Madman Mars has become. Like, why did he rise from the dead? Is he a zombie? Is he possessed by a spirit? Well, don't count on this flick to give you some answers. By the way, the final girl is played by Galen Rose. She previously starred in Dawn of the Dead, which is a possible candidate for the best zombie movie out there. But that's just about all there is that's interesting about it. Overall, this was a very bad movie. I actually have a soft spot for the slasher genre, which has been heavily polarized throughout the years. Some of those picks were actually good movies, but not this one. It's just a sorry excuse to show gore everywhere. If you want a slasher set in a summer camp, check out the original Friday the 13th, or the first Sleepaway Camp, but not this one, I'm begging you. What an awful movie.